All right, folks, we're recording, and welcome to another video, which is the product of intelligent design, titled 5 Stupid Things Atheists Say and Believe in. So we're going to put this right here, and then we're going to get started, okay? So let's put that right there. I want to make sure we don't accidentally shut it off. Still recording? Good. Okay, here we go. And let's go through the list of things we're going to talk about today, folks. We're going to talk about how atheists say they lack belief. Very stupid. We're going to tell you why that's stupid. We're going to talk about how atheists say they have no free will. We're going to talk about the millions upon millions of missing transitional fossils, which is a problem for evolution, by the way. We're going to talk about how atheists really have no purpose to their life. And then, even though they say they do. And then we're going to talk about how atheists say they're logical, but they cannot ground logic in atheism. After all, if you evolved from a fish and everything is the direct result of natural processes, how can that be rational? Evolution does not say what is true. It only talks about what survives and how things change. So evolution cannot get to truth. Now, this is truth. This motorcycle, the Kawasaki Z1000 Ninja, is a product of intelligent design. What do you think is more rational? That there was a massive explosion for no purpose whatsoever, and this motorcycle came together because all the parts just over millions of years came together? Or do you think that it is the product of an intelligent mind, intelligent design? Let me ask you another question. What do you think you, the viewer of this video, are the product of? Are you the product of the Big Bang explosion, and then by luck and chance you just came together without intelligent design? If you answered that this motorcycle is a product of intelligent design to the first question, you must admit that you, the viewer, are also a product of intelligent design to the second question, because you, the viewer, are far more complex than this motorcycle. So let's get on and let's talk about the stupid things that atheists say and believe. Let's start off with the limp-wristed comment that atheists lack belief. You know, the Atheist Experience Show has failed to answer my challenge, the Shock of God challenge, along with every other atheist on YouTube. We have been asking the Shock of God challenge. Here it is. What proof and evidence can you provide that would finally at last prove that atheism is accurate and correct? And no atheist has been able to answer that. We're going to be getting on the freeway as we do this, and then I'll take you to the twisties if we have enough battery time. Now, atheists are lying. We love the atheists, even though they're big fat liars. The atheists are lying, saying that they have conquered the Shock of God challenge. But if you look right below here after this video is done, in the video description, you'll find that the atheists are saying that they're not going to answer the question because they don't like the question. They're saying atheism is something that cannot be true because it is just a lack of belief. Now, that's the lamest, limp-wristed response ever. Why would you believe in something that cannot be true? So let's talk about the real reason why atheists say they lack belief. And listen closely. The reason is because the atheists lack any arguments against the existence of God. This is the real reason why atheists say, I lack a belief. No, my atheist friends. We love you, but you lack arguments against God's existence. Let's get over here. So, the atheist doesn't lack belief. They lack arguments against God's existence. Now, let me tell you something. When an atheist says they lack belief, that is irrelevant. You're self-deluded. The atheists are self-deluded. When an alcoholic says and denies that they're an alcoholic, we're not going to go by what they say, because the alcoholic is self-deluded, just like our atheist friends. When someone says they're an excellent driver, remember Raymond from, that movie with Tom Cruise? He's like, I'm an excellent driver. Dad used to let me drive in the driveway. The fact is, Raymond was not an excellent driver. So there's people that say they're excellent drivers, but they are not excellent drivers. They are self-deluded. And there's people that say they lack a belief, but the true fact of the matter is they do not lack a belief. They're self-deluded, and they lack arguments against God's existence. That is number one stupid thing that atheists say and believe. Let's go to the next thing. There's an atheist on YouTube. Well, there's lots of them, aren't they? Lots of atheists, aren't there, on YouTube that say they lack free will. Now, the atheists that claim they lack free will realize they got a problem. If everything is just materialism and matter and motion, why would free will come involved? The atheists must fall on their sword and claim that they have no free will. But watch how I choose to go to the right of the lane, and now I will choose to go to the left, and I will choose to downshift. Notice, it is obvious that we have free will. It is self-evident. To be an atheist, you cannot be rational because you believe that you are the descendant of a fish. Well, heck, I eat fish. Not my favorite food. I'd rather eat steak. But you believe, as an atheist, they believe that fish, you've heard it, become philosophers. Yet there is no mind. The atheist says they're just chemicals in motion. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why the atheist must say that there is no free will. They must deny the self-evident. The next stupid thing, by the way, before I forget, look below here this video for atheists failing the Shock of God challenge. Do not believe the atheist when they say they've conquered the Shock of God challenge. It is a lie. It is a big fat lie. You'll see right below here the answer to the Shock of God challenge when they say, well, we're not going to answer the Shock of God challenge because atheism cannot be true. Then if it cannot be true, then atheism is faith that's based on ignorance, blind faith, ignorance. So look below here. Trust me, no atheist has been able to conquer the challenge. They've talked about it and said they're not going to address it, as you'll see below here. Call the Atheist Experience Show, see if you can get through. They will not answer the question. Look below here for actual videos of the wimp, the wussy, Matt Dillahunty, denying that he's going to answer the question right below here. And also look below here in the video description for a Christian pastor asking Matt Dillahunty that question in debate, and again, Matt refuses to answer that question. So now let's go to the problem of the missing transitional fossils. Think about it. We should have millions upon millions of transitional fossils. This whole canyon would be full to the brim of transitional fossils. Ask an atheist. I want you to get 10 atheists and ask them, how many transitional fossils do we have? And you'll get different answers. I want to know, how many transitional fossils do we have that you can lay out there in a science lab and show us the missing link? Do you know there is no missing link that has been found? The missing link is still missing. And if the neo-Darwinian theory of evolution would be true, we should be literally swimming, doing backstrokes, drowning in transitional fossils. The lack of the transitional fossils shows that only creation is true. In my debate you'll see below here with atheist Steve Shives, he went as far as to say the most bizarre thing that is unproven, there's no proof for it, he said that every fossil is a transitional fossil. This is ridiculous. Because we have fossils, the same exact fossil of the same species that haven't transitioned. So it is incorrect and foolish to be an atheist and say that every fossil is a transitional fossil. Go to creation.com right below here and see that there's a major problem with the lack of transitional fossils. All we see is microevolution, change within limits, and all that is creation. Let's go to that was the third stupid thing that atheists say, and Steve Shives, to his credit, admitted that I did defeat him in debate, very humbly speaking. But Steve, if you're listening, you are totally wrong. Everything is not a transitional fossil, Steve. Wah, wah. Okay. The next thing is that atheists say they have a purpose in life. You have no real purpose in life, my atheist friends, and I'm going to prove it to you right now in less than 2 minutes. Scientists have shown that, unless God steps in, of course, but scientists have shown that the universe is dying, it's winding down like a clock, and everyone within it will die. There will be no escape of the heat death of the universe. There will be no escape. We're not going to be able to go to other planets. The entire space universe is going to die. So when you think about it, if God does not step in and create a new heaven and new earth like he says he's going to do, on the Christian worldview, the Christian can have an objective purpose. They definitely can, because we believe that there's going to be a new heaven, a new earth, and that we are judged and rewarded based on different decisions that we make within this life. But the atheist believes no God will step in, and if no God will step in, you guessed it, the universe dies and everyone within it dies. So the atheists are just wasting their time trying to be evangelical atheists, because everyone's going to die anyways. Any good or evil that someone does not matter on the atheist worldview. No one will be alive to remember it. Nobody will be alive to remember it. No, ladies and gentlemen, atheists have no real purpose in life but to live and to die a meaningless, purposeless life. Well, no, Shock, that's not true, the atheists will say, because one day we're going to create a utopia on this planet of all atheists. And really? No, you're not. Because the universe, remember, on your worldview, my atheist friends, dies and nobody lives anyways. So nothing an atheist does on their worldview. The Christians can say that there is an eternity, and I can see that it makes sense to preach Christianity on the worldview of Christianity, but the only reason why an atheist would preach their evangelical atheism, and you know it's true, don't you, my atheist friends, is you don't believe it. Because if you believed it, you would realize there is no objective purpose to an atheist life. They could pretend there is, but in the end, it's full of death and destruction. Let's go to number 5. Let's see what number 5 is. Atheists can say that they're nice and kind, but the fact of the matter is you cannot ground objective morality on atheism. If there is no God, then who makes up these rules that rape is wrong or murder is wrong? How can you ground what is right on atheism and what is wrong? You cannot. If the person chooses to murder, why should it be wrong? If the person chooses to rape, why should it be wrong? Atheists might say, well, it's going to harm our species. No, it's not, because remember, on your worldview, Mr. and Mrs. Atheist, your entire population dies anyways. So what does it matter? It is madness in its purest form. Atheism is madness. It just doesn't make sense. And if you're evolved from a fish, which atheists believe, Why should we trust you to be rational? An atheist cannot be rational because they cannot ground objective values and truths. They can't ground them. Why should we trust an evolved fish? Seriously, evolution doesn't say we should trust that evolution leads to truth. It does not lead to truth. Remember, survival of the fittest, it talks about fitness, but does not talk about truth. Now, on Christianity, you can ground truth because God is not illogical. God does not do illogical things or activities. For example, all truth flows from the nature of God, my brothers and sisters. Why is homosexuality sinful and evil? That's right, I said it. It's awesome to be a Christian where I can speak truth without fear as I hold my head high. Why is homosexuality sinful? Yeah, I said it. Because God is pure. You see how this flows from his nature. Why is it wrong for you and I, and even our atheist friends, to cheat on their spouse? Because God is so faithful. He is faithful. Why is it wrong to be dishonest and lie and cheat people? Because God cannot lie. He is truth. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been 5 stupid things that atheists believe in. If you want to help atheists, click share below this video. Send this to your atheist friends. And we only have the rest of October, November, and December. And atheists, you are going to fail again. This is 10 years in a row, 10 years in a row that atheists have failed the Shock of God Challenge. Amazing Atheist couldn't answer it. Godless Engineer couldn't answer it. Richard Dawkins couldn't answer it. Not one atheist has been able to conquer the Shock of God Challenge. And if you want to see them try and evade it, remember, trust me, I'm not lying. I got video evidence. Look right below here in the video description of the Atheist Experience show denying to give proof and evidence that atheism is accurate and correct. They said atheism cannot be true. They actually say that. They said because it's the lack of belief, and we know why they say that. Atheists, you're self-deluded and you lack arguments against God's existence. If there was proof and evidence that atheism was accurate and correct, the world would be atheist by now. But why, pray tell, is the largest group in the world Christians? People know where the truth is. So God bless you guys. Have a great week. Remember, click share below this video. Send it to your sweet, cuddly, huggable atheist friends. And I'm going to ask them a question right now. Your atheist friends watching this. If you have been sent this video, I want you to make a video response to this. I challenge you. I double dog dare you. I bet you don't have the guts to do it as an atheist. Give us some proof and evidence that would finally at last show that atheism is accurate and correct. But you know what, my atheist friends? You're not going to do it. You know why? You don't have any proof and evidence that atheism is accurate and correct. Atheism, thus, is madness. So, January, I'm going to be making another video celebrating how the 11th year we have conquered atheism. They have not been able to answer the Shock of God Challenge. They just have not been able to defeat it. And my atheist friends, lack of evidence is not evidence. Lack of evidence is not evidence.